Hello, good evening and welcome. My name's Phil. This is 100% LCFC and this is the Tuesday night live Leicester FANZONE show. Sorry about last night. Well, it was bank holiday. A lot of us were all a bit tied up doing all the bits on a bank holiday. So we thought we'd move it to Tuesday, and it gives us a little bit longer to reflect about the Sheffield United game that was on, obviously, Saturday. A fantastic victory there. Get your views in, get your comments in, of course, about that great win away at the Blades. But I think what we're going to focus on mostly tonight is going to be tomorrow night's big, I'm going to call it a big game for Leicester, the big League Cup. It's one that we should be really contending for. Hello to Jason, Claire, Steve Chapman, good evening. Neil Ryan is watching, Jordan Williams, Keith Goodall, Mick Paget, good evening. Mick and Ernie Simmons. Cheshire Cats is watching. Cheshire Cats all the way out in America, Canada. I can't quite remember. Bear with me. What do you all think about the Newcastle match tomorrow? Is Brendan Rodgers going to make wholesale changes? The rumours are he's indicating that he's not going to make wholesale changes. But for me, that may still be too many changes. A up my duck, says Jason Clare. A up indeed. Lewis Ellis is watching. Hi Lewis. What do you reckon to the match against Newcastle tomorrow night? Chris Butterley, saying, evening Phil, got the score spot on and we'll kill Newcastle tomorrow. John Squires is watching. Cheshire Cats, it is Winnipeg. That's Canada, isn't it? Right, yeah, I thought you were out that way. Aggie's watching. How are you, Aggie? Thanks for watching. Hi to John Squires. Craig Pearson, you alright, Craig? Gray Hempfee, well done for watching. Steve Chapman, we need to go for it tomorrow night, which is exactly what I think. I agree with Steve there. Please get your views in, get your comments in. Listen, we're doing well in the league. Only 3 games in. Let's not get carried away. 4th in the table. We're all pretty delighted about that, aren't we, if we're honest? But for me, I really want to get back into Europe for next season. I love the Dilly Dong tour that we had in the Champions League. I'd like a little bit more of that. One of the straightforwardest ways to do it is in the League Cup, because most clubs nowadays, even the Championship sides don't take it that seriously because they're trying to get promoted to the Premier League. The bottom half of the Premier League don't take it that serious because they're so worried about getting relegated. The top 6 teams don't take it very seriously because they're in Europe. It leaves about 4 teams who could take it really seriously, and those teams are Leicester, Everton, Bournemouth, Watford, Wolves, maybe. Some of these teams should take it very, very seriously. I would class Newcastle in that. I know they'll be a bit worried about relegation, but hey, they're only 3 games in. Mick Paget says, played the strongest team possible. I totally agree with you, Mick. I would treat it like a Premier League game tomorrow. This could be the Newcastle game. Here's a thought for you. The Newcastle match against Leicester, that could be our toughest game in this competition. I'm just saying that actually could be. Was not the easiest draw to get. Newcastle, a Premier League side. There's lots of lower sides than that. I wonder how seriously Newcastle are going to take it. If you ask me, Steve Bruce will take it fairly seriously because he won't want a defeat on him. I know they did so well at Spurs, but John Squires is saying we've got to go for it. Gray Hempfee is saying we need to play our best players. I agree with you, Gray. Do you think he's going to, though? And what is that best 11? Steve Chapman saying we'll be in Europe when we finish 4th anyway. Steve, let's hope so. Let's hope it's Champions League next year, but let's not get carried away. The reality is, to get into the Champions League or even qualify for Europe by the league system is 30. You've got to have 38 decent games. You've got to be really good out of 38 games. The League Cup, I don't know the stats. Is it 6 games and you're at Wembley from here? 5 games? And against teams who are going to put out average to B teams, I think it should be for us. Chris Butterley is saying 3-0 to Leicester with Perez, 2 goals and Maddison. We'll talk about Perez in a minute because I think he is going to be on everybody's lips for tomorrow night. Imtiaz saying the draw was so unlucky to get such a good team. I agree, Imtiaz, but Imtiaz says compared to the rest of the so-called minnows, we have been unlucky, Imtiaz. I agree. I think tomorrow could well be our toughest game in the league competition if we were to go on. It would be disappointing if we're all stood here on Thursday disappointed that we're already out of the League Cup, because for many of us, myself included, this is our biggest chance of getting to Europe straight away. Alan Wildman saying Pratt start, you think? I can't read. I think that's your writing, to be fair. Paul Burchett says, should Nacho start if he's Vardy's backup? No, not for me. I'd play Jamie Vardy, but I think that's a great point there, to be fair with you, Paul. Paul is saying, will Nacho start as he's Vardy's backup? I wouldn't be surprised if Nacho doesn't start tomorrow. Or does start. What's the word? I think Nacho may well start tomorrow. I don't want him to. I want Jamie Vardy to. What do you guys think? What do you think? Do you think Jamie Vardy is going to take a rest on the bench? I hope to goodness we take him. You remember, was it Newport County last season in the FA Cup? Claude didn't take Vardy or Casper. They weren't even in the squad for that match, and that was disastrous. Stuart Widow says, no Nacho if we want to win it. So Stuart's a no for Nacho. Chris Butterley, again mentioning Perez, he says Perez alone up front. I would probably agree with that. I think if I was going to play anybody instead of Vardy, it would be Perez. I was looking on the club's website, the LCFC.com website today, and noticed that Perez is definitely in their squad system as a forward. So I've been saying we haven't got enough forwards. They've got 4 in the club at the moment, and I'd be interested to know if you can name Vardy, Nacho, Perez. Do you know who the 4th striker is in the squad on the website? Get your comments in there. You should know, but I was a bit like, it wasn't Slimani. Nice goal he scored for Monaco on his debut. Well played, Slimani. I'd have still kept him. I've got to let that go. He's gone. Mick Paget saying, let's play Fuchs. Yeah, I would play Fuchs. No point being Chilwell back for me at this stage with him still nursing an injury. Chappers, hi Chappers, thanks for watching, saying the cup run isn't important. So Wes Morgan says, yes, I thought that was interesting that Wes was saying that. And didn't he do well, Chappers, when he came? Didn't he do well when he came on against Sheffield United? I thought, well, Wes actually kept us in it the last 5-10 minutes. But I think Wes Morgan may well play tomorrow as well against Newcastle, which I think is why he was potentially interviewed, and that went out on LCFC's social media channels. Rob McFarlane saying Newcastle fans are boycotting the game. Under 15,000 fans, they think they're tomorrow. I noticed as well, there's still tickets for Leicester fans available if you want to go. They've not given us the biggest allocation, but there is still some tickets available for the Leicester end if you fancy it. It's a long trip on a Wednesday night. I know Anthony Howard, LCFC Boyer, if you're following him on YouTube and Twitter, that's Anthony who does our brilliant away day match reports. He's been bringing some of the fun from the away games. He'll be there tomorrow for us. Neil Birchenough saying Slimani scored for Monaco and Silva had a good game. Yeah, I was reading that as well, Neil. Jordan Williams saying not much on the supporters page lately, Phil. Nick, Jordan, I'm going to come to you on that. I will get to you on that. Don't you fret. Bear with me on that. Chappers saying, didn't he do well? Didn't Wes do well, Chappers? That's my very poor Brucey impersonation. Neil saying, do you think James Justin will get a start, or is it too soon? Again, Neil, what do you think? For me, what I saw of James Justin in pre-season, which was only a little bit in flashes, I've got no problems with him starting tomorrow. I've got no problems with any of them starting tomorrow out that squad. But I want that best team out there. I want Maddison out there. I want Vardy out there. I want Tielemans out there. I'd have no problem with Mark Albrighton coming into the team because for me, he should be in the first team. So I would highly expect Mark Albrighton to get a nod for tomorrow. Do you agree with that or not? Fuchs, I would like to see him in there. Amanda Harris is watching. Hi Amanda, how are you? All good here. Jason Clare is saying Justin, Wes and Albrighton he would put in. Yeah, I wouldn't have too much of a problem with Wes Morgan playing tomorrow or Albrighton. James Justin, I suppose he could get a run out, but that means you're dropping Pereira to the bench, giving Pereira a rest. I mean, we've got Bournemouth on Saturday, so it's been a bit of a frantic start to the season, but again, I said it before, Newcastle I think is going to be the toughest, potentially the toughest game in our League Cup run to Wembley, if that's where we want to go. Chris is saying the other striker must be Harvey Barnes. It's not, Chris. So has anybody got who is our 4th striker according to the club's official website squad? Nobody got it as yet. Scooby Bars, all right, Scooby saying I would go for a 4-4-2 with Nacho and Barnes up front, Vardy on the bench just in case. I think again, we didn't take, as far as I remember, we didn't take Vardy to Newport County. Big mistake. I think if you're not going to play Vardy, he certainly has to be on the bench. I'm expecting, here's another one for you, Casper. I don't think Casper will start tomorrow. I think it will be Danny Ward tomorrow. I think squad game, you've got to try and keep your players happy. I'd play Casper tomorrow. I wouldn't play Danny Ward. But I think this is the changes I think will happen. I think Danny Ward will come in. I think Wes will come in. I'm not quite sure who will drop out for Wes, whether it be Soyuncu or it be Johnny Evans. Again, I'd definitely leave Soyuncu in there, not only because he's had a cracking start to the season, but also give him more experience, give him more play. He wants as much game time as possible. That would be my way of looking at it. Aggie's saying, won't be many of us there tomorrow. No tickets on sale at Newcastle for City fans. No, you must buy your tickets in advance, Aggie. You're right there. Can't, even though the stands are going to be 3/4 empty by the sounds of it. 54,000 I think Newcastle holds, St James's Park. Sounds like it's going to be under half full for tomorrow. Imtiaz is saying Slimani will be back again next summer and the carousel will begin again. I don't think Slimani will ever play for Leicester City again, to be fair with you. I think, does anybody think Slimani would ever wear a Leicester shirt again? I don't think so. Stuart Widow saying I would keep the same starting 11, but Harry Cheswind, I hope I'm saying that right, Harry, saying I would rest Vardy tomorrow. Listen, let's see, would you rest Vardy tomorrow or would you play him? For me, I would definitely play Jamie Vardy, but if you would rest him, give us a heart. If you can do that heart emoji, because then a heart emoji, I just know that you love him, you want to bench him, but if you want to play him, give us a like, and then I can see those on the screen. I can see what people are thinking. So if you would play Jamie Vardy, give us a thumbs up. If you would rest him, give us a heart. Quite a lot of hearts coming up there. So people sort of saying rest him, which is interesting. So people seem to be disagreeing, agreeing with me. Mostly, I think people are going for resting him there by looking at the emojis that are going out there, which is interesting because I'd play him, but I don't think he will. I think he'll be on the bench. Jason Clare saying yes to Albrighton. Thanks for all those emojis that are coming in. Bit of a mixed bag, to be fair. There was quite a lot of likes just coming in there from some of you, but generally hearts. So most of you are saying give Vardy a rest. I would say that was about 60-40. Counting emojis in my head as we go along. Lee Sutton saying give Danny Ward a chance, a start tomorrow. I wouldn't, but I've got no problem with Danny Ward coming in, Lee, and I think he will. Mick Paget saying congratulations on Bard's, yes, on having another baby. Jamie Vardy has scored, as they say, at the weekend and in many other ways. So well done to Jamie Vardy. Another little future striker on the way in 20 years' time. Do you think anybody signs up players' kids now before they're born? Do you think, right, Jamie, can we have first dibs on Junior Vardy, please? They should do, shouldn't they? It's worth a go. We've got Casper. Is Chile still injured, says Craig Pearson. He's coming back to fitness, but it might be a wee bit too early to them. Andy Medhurst is saying, is it Damari Gray, the fourth striker? It isn't, Andy. Nobody's got it yet. Who is the fourth striker according to the club's official squad list that's on their website? We've got Jamie Vardy, Perez, Iheanacho. Fourth one is... Somebody guess it. Come on, somebody guess it. Scott Down saying, even if all the subs get a game, we'll still look strong. I agree. I think our B team would beat most teams out the Championships and League One and League Two's B team. If Newcastle put out a strong team, listen, we've just seen what they did. They went to Spurs on Sunday when Steve Bruce has had a week of people having a go at him, big style, after only 3 games. And they pulled a well-earned win out at Spurs. It was nice to see. Always nice to see Spurs lose at home in their lovely new stadium. So Newcastle are no mugs. And Steve Bruce, I think, won't want to lose tomorrow night. He won't want to lose at home. He wants to show the fans that he means business. I think he'll put out a decent... If I was Steve Bruce, I wouldn't put out a B team tomorrow. I'd put out a strong side. And Steve Chapman is saying he'd put out a strong side, get the game done and dusted. Penny is saying Nacho. I think that's the fourth person. Yes, we know that. Neil Mystery. Neil, who does the kit room with us on Thursdays, 8:30 p.m. Do tune in. Great new show that's on there. Neil's got it. The fourth striker is Diabate. It is. We've got 4 strikers on the squads list. Diabate is the fourth one. And they do definitely show Perez as a striker. Lewis is saying Diabate, well done. Brad Lingard is saying still Chilwell still injured. I think he's on his way back, Brad, but don't think he's going to play tomorrow, although I suppose you could do it with a bit of maybe getting him back. Harry Chetwynd is saying it's got to be Diabate. Carlos, good evening to you. How are you? Please like and share the video, Carlos. Like, I'd ask all of you to do it. Penny's saying, is it Tielemans? No. But Reece Taylor's got it is Diabate. So is Chris Butley. Lots of you getting it now with Diabate. Anyway, what do you think to tomorrow night? So let's have a few score predictions coming in for the match as well. You know we always do. We always give away some pizza from Peter's Pizzas. Alex Till won it. We had quite a few of you got it right for the Sheffield United game. Often we get nobody getting it right and we have to give it away in this show, but I've got no pizzas to give away tonight. They've been won by Alex. He guessed Jamie Vardy would score to make it 2-1. He would score first, and I always think the League Cup is a tremendously hard match to try and predict in advance who's going to score first and what the final score is going to be, because it's hard to predict who's even going to play. So put your teams in there now. Obviously, get your score predictions in. That's first goal scorer, correct final score. You can win some pizzas, and we'll put your name in the hat if you get it right. But I'd like to see your team sheets. I know it's a lot of typing. Type, but I want to see team lists in there and formations if you can. Starting with the keeper, obviously, are we going to play Casper or Danny, Ward? Are we going to play 4 at the back? I think we probably will. Are we going to play a diamond? Who is going to be in there? I'm going to pick my team now. I'm going to try and work it out, but I'm going to pick the team I think Brendan Rodgers will pick, not necessarily the team I would pick, because I genuinely would go for the starting. Well, no, that's not true actually, because I would definitely have Mark Albrighton in there, and I would probably drop Perez from Saturday. I'm a bit scratching my head with Mark Albrighton. I don't know what the guy. It seems like every time we have a new manager comes in, which is every 6 months at Leicester over the last 3 years, if we're being honest, it's like Mark Albrighton's had to prove himself to Ranieri, had to prove himself almost back to Shakespeare, had to prove himself to Claude Puel, and is now, I genuinely think Mark Albrighton is having to prove himself to Brendan Rodgers. I think Brendan Rodgers is brought in some big names. He's brought in Tielemans, he's brought in Perez, he's brought in Pratt. And Mark Albrighton's dropped down the pecking order. And for me, Mark Albrighton has proved to me, almost since day one, but over the last 4 or 5 years he's been with us, that he gets in my starting 11. So I'm going to pick my 11 for tomorrow. And I'm going to start with Mark Albrighton. He's definitely going to be in there. But I'm going to start, I think Brendan Rodgers is going to put Danny Ward in there. Then I think he's going to, unless he brings Chilwell in, I think he will play James Justin. So that's one at the back. I think he will play Wes Morgan. I think he will play Benkovic. There's a shot for you. Do you think he'll play Benkovic? I think he is going to play Benkovic tomorrow. And then who is he going to have as the other fullback? I'm going to gamble that he might give Ben Chilwell a run out, trying to get him fit again. So that's a real. I'm guessing that Brendan Rodgers is going to change the whole back 4 plus the keeper. Do you agree with that? That's radical. I don't think he should, but I think he's going to, because I think he's going to use the league. He wants to win the League Cup, but I think he is going to use it as a run out for some of these players. James Justin wants some time. Wes wants some time. Benkovic wants some time. Do you agree? I've only got to the back 4 and the 5. What do you think to that starting back lineup that I'm just picking? Neil's asking who we think will be in the centre of the park. That's a great question. We'll be coming on to the midfield. Reece Taylor saying, don't think Albrighton isn't good enough for the top 4. Sorry, Reece. Don't think Albrighton isn't good enough. So you're saying that he is good enough for the top 4, Reece. I don't know if you've typed that right or wrong, but I would agree with you. I think Mark Albrighton is well overlooked and could get in to the top 4 teams. Jason Clare's team is Ward, Fuchs, Soyuncu, Wes, Justin. So similar to mine, but he's put Fuchs and Soyuncu in there. Then he's gone for Albrighton, Maddison, Tielemans, Perez, Pratt and Vardy. So Jason started us off there. He's gone for Albrighton, Maddison, Tielemans and Perez and Pratt. So sort of you're going for, I think you're playing 5 there, Jason, with Vardy up front. I don't think that is going to be who starts. Pratt maybe. Maybe Pratt will get a bit more game time, get him used to things. You've got no defensive midfielder in that, Jason. No, you've got no Ndidi and no Hamza in there. So, do you think Gray will start, says Sean Culpy. Hi, Sean, how are you? Damari Gray. I don't think he will. I don't think Damari Gray will get a start, if I'm honest, Sean. Do you think he will, Sean? Do you think he should do? I don't think he will. I think there's other players like Albrighton who should start ahead of him and are on the fringes. Lee Chappers says Gray has had his day. I think he has, Lee. I think something's not right there. I think something's gone wrong with Damari, but I'm not sure. David Hart is living in 1973, saying that tomorrow's team will be Shilton, Nash, Walsh, Schoberg, Rodriguez, Samuels, Weller, Linux, Worthington, Vardy. To be fair, David, I think that's not the 70s, but that's your best team ever, maybe. What a team that would be. But I'm not going to agree with all those players on that list, by the way. Much as I love Steve Linux, he wouldn't be my winger of choice when we've got players like Steve Guppy and Mark Albrighton. But we could argue that one. That's a close season argument, that is. Lee Chappers is saying a bust up with Colo, I heard. Chappers giving us the goss. Is that right? Do you know, I was just guessing that something has definitely gone wrong with Damari Gray and the club. Chappers is saying that there has been a bit of a bust up, bit of gossip there. Do you know any more, Chappers? Tell us. There's nobody watching, nobody listening. Ken is saying, Phil, are you not listening? Rodgers will make 10 or 11 changes. Ken, yes, I am listening, because if you listen to my back five, including the keeper, I've just made 5 changes and not even got onto midfield. So, Ken, let's get onto the midfield. I think it's going to be Albrighton, which is a change. I think he'll keep Pratt in there. I think he'll put Ndidi back in. Or Hamza, maybe give Hamza another one. I'm going to go for Ndidi. I think he'll keep Tielemans in there. I'm up to 4 midfielders. And I think he will play Perez. But will he play Perez as a striker? I think he will play Perez as a striker tomorrow and play Harvey Barnes in there. So that's my 11, which is quite radically different, Ken, than the starting 11. So I think he will make the changes. Even though he's saying, I ain't going to make many changes, I think he absolutely will do. Who will we play at right back, says Neil. You answer that. Neil, don't just ask me the question. You tell me. This is your thing. Chappers has got the gossip. Here we are. Look. Chappers says he's seen it on one of the TalkSport articles in the comments. Should have screenshot it. Damari Gray and Colo had a bit of a... That's Chappers gossip for us. Thanks, Chappers, for that. I love it. Love it. Brian Marshall saying, chill, chill, chill. It's only Newcastle. Well, they did go and beat Spurs. So they ain't that rubbish. And to be fair, can't see him making 10 or 11 changes, says Brad Lingard. I hope he doesn't, Brad, but I think he's going to. I really do. All this... Now I'm going to keep this team fairly settled. He's got a lot of players who will want to play. William Robinson saying, put Spider in goal. Akinbai and Iheanacho up front. Hey, listen, the best thing Spider ever did was come on as a sub, and we all know how that went. And he didn't even touch the ball and got us promoted. Joe Potter is saying this is his team. Casper, Ricardo, Benkovic, Soyuncu, Chilwell, if fit. Midfield, he's got Albrighton and Ndidi, Chowdhury, Barnes, and striker Vardy and Diabate. Do you know what? I don't think for a second Diabate will start tomorrow. I don't even think he'll be in the squad, if I'm fair. I personally think we're going to loan Diabate out somewhere. I think he's going to be one of these players who goes, but that's absolutely fine. That's Joe Potter's prediction. Kerry's saying, hello, I always miss the juicy gossip. You heard it here. Chappers gave us the juicy gossip. He's got no proof. He thinks he's read it once somewhere on Twitter. Bless him. But do you know what? I absolutely believe him, because I think there is something definitely gone wrong there. Jason Tight has said, Fuchs, Benkovic, Morgan, Justin, Ndidi, Pratt, Albrighton, Gray, Maddison, Vardy and Ward in goal. That's fairly similar to the team I picked, although you put Damari Gray in. I don't think Damari Gray doesn't start tomorrow. That would tell you something, I think. Mick Paget saying, do we never learn play the... Mick's got it here, look. We should just print this and put it on a sign. Do we never learn just play the strongest team, No changes, get the job done, and then make changes. I agree. Put the strongest team out for the first 60 minutes, get 2-3 up, that's Mick's plan, and then let's give people a rest. Sean is saying it's the international break soon, so play your best 11, then they can have a break. Again, Sean's agreeing with Mick Padgett. I agree with you 100%. I would have Casper in goal. I would have Fuchs starting. I would have Sayuncu and Evans and Ricardo. I would pick pretty much the same team. I would almost leave Perez in because I think he will score against Newcastle. And I think all Newcastle fans, you know what it's like. You sell a player like that, you know he's going to come back and want to score against you. So I would probably put all. How about this? I would probably keep pretty much the side that there was on Saturday, except I would potentially give Vardy the rest, put Perez up front and drop Mark Albrighton in. I don't think that will happen, but that would be how it could be. Andy Moss says full team out tomorrow. Chapper's saying, based on the last 15 fixtures, Spurs would be 17th right now. Only Brighton and Huddersfield have scored less goals. What a stat. Steve Chapman, Steve, any relation to Lee? Says, nobody has mentioned Mendy to start. No, I agree. Maybe Mendy will get there. Maybe Mendy will be the defensive midfielder tomorrow. Maybe when I was saying, will it be Ndidi or Hamza? Maybe it won't be either. Maybe it'll be Mendy. Crikey, that'd be like massive changes though, wouldn't it? But Steve Chapman's got a point in there. Jordan is saying Chappers is the stat man tonight. He certainly is. Full team go for it, says Andy Moss. Don't think he's going to. Right, Will Robinson. Hi, William Robinson says Ward, Justin, Morgan, Benkovic, Fuchs, Albrighton, Chowdhury, Maddison, Barnes, Diabate and Perez. Wow. Oh, Chapper's saying it's his 4th anniversary being part of 100%. Well done. Happy birthday, Chappers. 4 years been part of this. Where's that time gone? I tell you what, I don't know where it's gone. Listen, I must remind you about this. Don't forget, this is my brother Will's for charity. This is for the Leicester Royal Infirmary Neonatal Ward. This is a signed Leicester City shirt. Here, you can have a good look at it there. You see all the signatures. I've shown you this a few times. I'll put the link in at the end. It's £1 to have a go in the raffle to win this. If you if you donate, betting mad. If you donate £1, you get 1 raffle go. If you donate £5, you get 5 raffle tickets. £20, you get 20 goes. I think so far, last time I looked, which was a good few days ago, there's about 250 quid in there. So about 250 tickets gone. Well, this has been signed by last season's team. So all the big names are on there, including the most expensive defender in the world who can't keep clean sheets at the moment. He's on there. So an £80 million player signature on there. Go and have a donation. If you could, just £1, you're in with a chance to win this shirt. Okay? Leicester Royal Infirmary. They could do with that money. You know they could. Andy Price saying, we get knocked out with a much changed team. Rodgers will be slaughtered, just like Puel after all he said about giving cups a go. I absolutely think you're right, Andy. I think there is pressure on Leicester to go and win at Newcastle. Because listen, if he pulls out a side that is messed up, trust me, I'll say it and you'll say it. I don't mind. I don't mind saying it. We'll go, Anthony's up there tomorrow, but if that team is messed around and we lose, what are we all going to say on Thursday? I'll say it, you'll say it, I'll say, because I'm saying it today, don't mess around with the team. Put out your best team. All this squad players, this and that. Hey, listen, I'd turn around to the squad players and say, work hard and you'll get your chance. When somebody's injured or when we're not playing so well, you'll get your chance. This is how it used to be. Not, oh, give them a game, give them a game. Rubbish. Just play your best players. If Diabate's not good enough, don't play him. He's not good enough. You know, let him be a sub if you want. Let him carry the water, but he shouldn't. He isn't good enough. So play your best players. And that is Jamie Vardy. Interesting stuff. That's just my views, but you're allowed to have your views. Do you think, Mick said, if we lose tomorrow night, don't forget it's Claude Puel's fault? It is. We can joke, but it wouldn't be, would it, Mick, really? Would you be upset if if Brendan Rodgers puts out a messed up team. And by messed up, you know what I mean by messed up. Put in the comments if you would be upset or if you wouldn't be. In fact, let's do the emoji thing again because I can see that on my screen really easy. If you'd be upset with Rodgers, do the angry face emoji. Or if you go, well, in Rodgers, all this in Rodgers we trust stuff, I'm not a big advocate of that saying, in Rodgers we trust. Much as I do think he's a good manager, I'm not having a go at him. But if you know you'd be angry with Rodgers on Thursday if he's put out a messed up team and we lose, do the angry faces. But if you think, well, Rodgers we trust, do a thumbs up likey. Because I know I don't mind saying it. Look, it's the night before. Let's hope if you put out a mixed up team, you win. Because if you don't, we're going to be straight at you going, told you not to mess around with it, Mr. Brendan. A few of you doing your thumbs up, which is fine. Quite a few like saying, yeah, Roger. Hey, I'm not saying Rodgers we don't trust. I'm just saying we know how it would be. Joe Potter is saying, yes, I would be angry. Sean Culpin is saying he would be angry. Said it last week, everything is Pule's fault, especially Brexit, says Neil. Rather get the FA Cup, saying George Dooher. George, that would be lovely to have the choice, but you have to. The FA Cup is probably harder to win than the League Cup. That's just the truth. So, a good mixed reaction there on the likers. Mick Paget saying he'd be gutted. Ken Andrews saying this cup really is of no interest. The FA Cup is a different story. It would be madness to get a couple of our top players injured and miss out on a top 6 finish. Ken, that is the counter argument to that. I love either of the cups. I'm a big fan of the League Cup. I don't really know why people think the FA Cup is a better cup to win than the League Cup. They're 2 bits of silverware. You have to beat teams. You get to Wembley. Both of them you get into Europe. Why is the FA Cup any better than the League Cup? The honest answer is, we'd be delighted to win either of them. I wouldn't be more delighted to win the FA Cup than the League Cup. I know we haven't won the FA Cup, so it'd be a little bit nice, but for me, I'm not too bothered. Final chance to get your score predictions in. Neil is saying every cup is worth winning. I totally agree with you, Neil. Why would people say, oh no, let's leave this one, go for the FA Cup? Let's win this one. It's a way into Europe, take it seriously, says Mick. Neil saying, I want to take my lad to Wembley. Yeah, I agree. Although we got the chance in the Community Shield the other season. Although that was a very weird atmosphere in there. That didn't feel like Wembley that day. I don't know if it was new Wembley or just... It was a very strange atmosphere that day. Bit too friendly. Any cup is an accomplishment, says Rob Razavi. I don't know if I'm saying that right, Rob. Joe Potter is saying, I'm just like every fan. We know if Rodgers gets this wrong, there'll be a lot of mixed feelings, and we know it. Thanks for all of you for watching. Get your final score predictions in. I'll read the last few out. Once I've said thanks to our sponsors, thanks as ever to Everard's, Pink Vehicle Leasing, Emergency Glazing Services, Peter Pizzeria, ADT Taxes. Bodie Hodges is our charity, who we're trying to support them. Just get their name out there. And also thanks to the Fox's Arms, Hologram, Harlow Geek, Live. Thanks to all those guys. They do help us do the shows. Don't forget, tomorrow night, well, it's Newcastle. I'm not sure if Chappers is going to be doing his Fox in the Box show. He probably won't because the match will be on. So I've not spoke to Lee yet to see what he's doing on that. Lee's brilliant podcasts are out. They are out every Thursday. That is on iTunes and SoundCloud. So we'll be putting links out for Chappers' podcast that is out on Thursday. 8:30 on Thursday is the Kit Room, which will be with Neil and James looking at all the stats and facts from the last few games. Looking forward to Bournemouth as well, a head-to-head with them. Simon is live the night before every match, giving you his views, been doing some great stuff. So Simon is live on Friday night, about 8 o'clock. Then on match days, you'll have me, you'll have Chappers, you'll have Tom. We're all down outside the Blues Bar on Saturday before and after the match. So do come and see us outside the Blues Bar before or after and give us your views. Sunday then, Jamie live from the Fox's Arms, 9:30 a.m. with the Fox's Aftermath show, and then it's back to me on Monday at 8:30. It's busy. busy on 100% LCFC, but we couldn't do it without all your fans' comments. So thank you to Chappers, who's watching, saying the podcast should be out by Friday. He's doing a perspective view with Bournemouth fans, which is great. Cheerio to Joe Potter and Sean Sarson. Good luck to Leicester, says Sean. David Hart saying thanks for the pizza the other week. Greatly appreciated. Hope you enjoyed it, David. Well done on winning it. See you to Mick Paget. Jason Clare, thanks as ever. Talking about how he loves the Community Shield. Ken Andrews is saying whatever team Brendan picks, he will think they are good enough to win it. He will, Ken. But if he messes around with it, they best win it. And that's where I'm going to leave it. If you can like and share this video as ever, that'd be great. My name's Phil. This is 100% LCFC. Thanks to all the sponsors, our pals at all these places, and mostly thanks to you. Shout loud tomorrow at St James's Park and watch Anthony Howard will be doing the live away day fan reports for us. From me, Phil, 100% LCFC. See you all soon.